course, Ben. Obviously, hashtag had a fantastic time in the FA Cup.
Yes.
The magic is officially still there, isn't it? Let's be honest.
100%, especially for non-league teams. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
That you can sort your team out, not just financially, but like support-wise for many years. So I love it.
Did it offer some support for hashtag, by the way?
Yeah. I think not necessarily financially, but because obviously ground limits were in place because of COVID, so we couldn't get that full support that we'd have liked to get in there. But definitely in terms of awareness, 100%.
Perfect. Okay, well, there's a little theme on this channel that we're doing at the moment. It's top fives. I want to hear your, if you can, sorry to put you on the spot, but I want to hear your top 5 cup moments. It doesn't necessarily have to be FA Cup, it could be any cup. So, and it doesn't have to be in any particular order either.
Cup
put you on
moments.
The spot, but
that's all right.
let's have a think. Let's have a think.
So, I would say I'll start with someone more close to my heart. So, like the Wembley Cup, which some people might not know what it is, but it's like a YouTube soccer aid type thing we've done a few times. But it's meant I've got to play at Wembley. It's meant that I've got to play at Wembley in front of 20,000 and 34,000 people. Like, if you just Google Wembley Cup, you'll see it's like it doesn't make any sense that the event happened, but it did, and that was really good for me. It's a personal memory. And
how much money did that raise, by the way? Have you got a
so the first one was behind closed doors, so there wasn't any money. But the second one, I think, it was Sport Relief and Bobby Moore Foundation were our two kind of partners there. I think in total it's about 130 grand we've raised for that's just from Wembley Cups. So it's and then that's something that gets glossed over as well, which is that it was a charity event.
People forget that.
So that's for all those reasons. That's a massive highlight. And we won 3 of the 4 as well, my team. So I had a decent record in it. Then I'm going to say Champions League. I've been lucky to go to quite a few Champions League finals, including the last 3. And I think
let's not talk about the
last one. Yeah. I mean, that probably is the worst game of the 3. It wasn't a great game.
Yeah. I talked to Benji the other day. He was saying, it's terrible game. It was over in the first minute. It really was.
Yes, so it's a harsh one.
Bad. As I say, let's not talk about that.
No, it's nice. It's fine. I think probably the year before, Kiev. I saw the year before that, Cardiff, when Mandzukic scored that amazing goal. But the overhead kick from Bale. And it was a crazy game as well. Remember, I'm a neutral here. Like, that game was so good to watch, man. I didn't know what was going on. And you had, like, calamities, you had worldies, you had everything. And to do that, I mean, Real Madrid have done 2 I can remember. The Zidane volley against Leverkusen, and then the Bale one. And it's like, I don't care how much you train as a player, how many years you've put into perfecting that. The odds of you even getting the chance to attempt an overhead kick in a Champions League final are minuscule. So then pull that out. Wow. And see it live.
One of my favourite overhead kicks, because obviously every overhead kick is pretty special. That one is up there, and I don't know if you remember Trevor Sinclair for QPR.
Yeah, great
years
goal.
Ago. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
From the edge of the box, but he was running away. That's my favourite. He was
Very
running away.
acrobatic.
The Bale one, it was like, the Bale one, it was like across and then boom. It was like a complete change of direction. He connected with that 100%. Perfect. Yeah. And not only that, on target, in the back of the net. Champions League final and everything else on top.
And they win it. Yeah. It's a joke. And he come on as a sub, and he's never, as we know, obviously it wasn't in Zidane's it wasn't his favourite, and he comes on and does that. And I think, you talk about connection, like Wayne Rooney's one against City is classic, but it's a shinner. It's off his shin.
Yeah.
I still think it's amazing, but it's not like pure. And again, I mean, I can't imagine what that felt like. I wonder if he really has even sunk in with him yet, like what he did there. So yeah, I love that. That was, to be there in person was a really lucky thing. So I love that.
Was you sitting close by, was you? Or?
Yeah, I was. So if you imagine the goal it's in and the side of the goal it came from, I was just here. So a really good view.
Oh, wow.
On the halfway line.
Decent.
And then I'll say after that, because I wasn't really a fan of either team in that, I was supporting Liverpool because I was supporting the English clubs. If you're a West Ham fan, your team is never going to win the Champions League anytime soon. I tend to support all English clubs in foreign competition, which I know divides opinion, but that's what I do. After that, I'll say the last World Cup, I was really lucky again. I was at every England game in Russia. And I Went to some other games as well, including the final. But yeah, England's journey, I got so lucky. That was the one I was at for the whole month, and that was the one where we've had the best World Cup in my lifetime.
Special, wasn't it?
Obviously, could have been so close to being more special, but I think I'm not. Beggars can't be choosers, and that's amazing. I had my dad with me for the second half of the tournament. I had my mate with me for the first group stage. So yeah, really so lucky. I mean, it's a lot. It's just so many things have to come together to make that trip happen.
Yeah. Was there a game that stood out to you as the one that you take away as the high moment for you?
Probably the penalties.
Or was it was it the penalties? Colombia, was it?
Colombia. Just because it hadn't happened before. First penalties we'd won in the World Cup. And my dad was there, as I said. It was like, went to the wire. Once we beat Colombia, that was probably the harder team to play than Sweden in the next round. And then obviously Croatia. I mean, Croatia could have gone to penalties as well. But yeah, that was big. Just to get that monkey off the back of the penalties. And then you start to think, hang on, have we actually got a chance? Because we knew we were playing Sweden. It's like, well, we can win that. And then we're in the semi-final. So yeah, that one for me. The group games were, we lost to Belgium, but Panama was amazing, but it was like a non-event in many ways. And was it Tunisia before that? I think Tunisia?
Yes, yeah.
That was good in a different way, in that we sort of just edged it, and it was nice to get that win. But it wasn't. Yeah. I was a nervous wreck, mate, for that game. I was a nervous wreck for them all. Semi-final was probably two of the most nervous and anxious I've ever been. Like, even though I have no control over the outcome, I just I went to the World Cup in 2006. Saw us lose to Portugal. The famous Ronaldo wink, in the penalties. But that was one game. We drove there from home to Germany. Yeah. Saw the game. He said we were going to stay as long as England win the competition. Dad was going to pull us out of school. I was 16. I was like, sweet. Just got knocked out straight away and went home. With Russia, I had a whole month there, so it's a completely different experience. And I on a personal level, actually, I learned a lot about Russia and a completely different culture. So I really enjoyed that. Then, what's that? That's 3, is it? Then I'll say West Ham, FA Cup final, Liverpool. Obviously not the result you want.
No, of course not.
Epic moment from Stevie G, obviously. But that's just, when you said cups, it just comes to my mind straight away. Like, yeah.
Was you there? Or
no, I wasn't. I wasn't there. I was watching it at home. That was back in the Millennium Stadium days. And my dad was there.
But you remember? I guess you remember the day and the lead up to it and the buzz of just being in a cup final. Do you know what I mean?
Watching it in my house, I had some mates around, including 2 Liverpool fans. I was actually outnumbered in my own house. What was I thinking? And I was obviously giving it large for like 60 minutes of that game. Just came like, because I had no expectations either. Yeah.
I'm a Spurs fan. I never get aggy until it's over, because you never know. But
a lesson learned.
Go on then. Number one. Not necessarily the top moment, but what would be your 5th and final?
Probably, it's not a final, but it's the cups. It's the cup run this year. Hashtag FA Cup run. As a cup.
Yeah.
It's just, we've left it, and we're still in the FA Vars. So, like, the final for that's at Wembley. So we could have you asked me this question in May, I could have a different answer for it. But right now, FA Cup, just being in it. Seeing our list of our club name in a list of names of some of these teams that are 100 years old in a competition that's 150 years old. I'll probably say specifically our first penalty shootout, the second match in this year's FA Cup. We had the second longest penalty shootout in the history of the FA Cup, which doesn't surprise me.
How many penalties were you away from equaling and or beating?
Two more penalties we needed
for some FA Cup record there. That would have been amazing.
Can't be greedy though, mate. So the competition's been 150 years old. You can't come break records in your first year. It's just selfish.
Just do it next year.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, hopefully not. Penalties, mate. I was a wreck for that game as well. But we're lucky because every penalty shootout we had, which was 3, we were the underdogs. So we never had that pressure like we have to win it.
Well, thank you for letting us know your top 5 cups. Much appreciated. This is Utilita Football, and we'll see you very, very soon.